Welcome everyone. This is Maria, Community Manager at Advanced Hospitality Technologies, and I am joined by my colleague Kazim, Marketing Assistant. We have with us today Steve Carran. He's the Director of Sales at Stayflexi and also co-hosts the Billion podcast, The Modern Hotelier. We are excited to welcome Steve. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much. So, to start this off, can you please tell us a bit about yourself, your professional journey, and what challenges did you face so far in your career?
Yeah, great question. So I grew up in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, about 45 minutes east of Madison, about an hour and a half north of Milwaukee. So grew up there, went to college in Milwaukee at a liberal arts college called Wisconsin Lutheran College, then moved out to Washington, D.C., where I worked at an advisory firm that helped executives with best practices for a few years. And then that's when I kind of got into the hospitality. I moved to a smaller company that aggregated news from various news sources, and I would sell online advertisements into the hospitality space. But one thing that always fascinated me, I always have loved technology, and I kind of grew to love the hospitality space. So I wanted to merge those two together. So I started looking at what tech companies were making changes in the hospitality space and came across a company called Stayflexi. They're a PMS company, and that's kind of where I really got my love of hospitality and technology, specifically in hospitality. So I spent about 3 years there, kind of understanding the industry and technology that went into the space. And now I'm the director of sales at Stayflexi. We are an all-in-one modern property management system that's looking to cut down the integrations that hotels need to use to run not only a successful hotel but also provide a great guest experience as well.
Oh, that's great. One thing else, as a co-host, you are hosting the most exciting podcast by the name of the Modern Hotelier,
Yeah.
where you have invited hospitality experts, personalities, and influencers to talk about the latest industry trends and technology. So, can you tell us more about it? And we would love to know the objective behind starting a podcast for this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all started probably November, December of last year. It was myself, our CEO Venkat Sakamuri, and David Malili, who is one of Stayflexi's advisors. We just were chatting about kind of fun ways that we can uh, kind of bring not publicity but marketing to Stay Flexi. And one of the ways we thought about doing that is obviously through thought leadership and really maybe possibly starting a podcast. So we threw that idea out there and looked at the podcasts that were in the industry. And one thing that we wanted to do was really get to know the people that we see on LinkedIn every day. We see these people posting and, we hear about their advice for the hospitality industry, but we don't really know who they are. So what we wanted to do was, meet these people, find out what makes them tick, where they grew up, how they got into the industry. So that was kind of the idea behind it. Let's get to know these people in hospitality that we see, and then while we're getting to know them, let's hear what they have to think about the top trends in hospitality, what's changing and what's coming. So that was kind of the idea behind it, and it's been a blast so far. We have had some great guests and just had a great time with it.
I mean, you have been doing such an amazing job with your podcast, Steve. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. It is a great platform for hospitality professionals. Steve, my colleague Kazim would like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Thank you, Maria. Steve, as both of us are part of a hospitality technology company, so I would like to ask, how much do you think technology is important for hospitality industry, especially in the current situation, where technology is overtaking every avenue of every industry?
Yeah, great question. I think technology is no longer a nice to have in the hospitality world. I think it's a necessity, especially with what happened in COVID. I always think it's funny, and just with technology space, when I started selling PMS systems with a mobile check-in back in the day, people were like, nobody wants to check in mobily. They want to come to the front desk. They want to have a chat. And I never understood that. It's like, we order our Uber to go to the airport from an app. We check in in the airport with our mobile phone, and we have our boarding pass on our phone. And then it's like when we walk into hotels, magically, nobody wants to use technology anymore, right? That's not how it happens. Everybody wants to check in on their phone. They want to order room service from their phone, and I think technology plays such a huge role into technology or into
Agreed.
hospitality.
Mhm.
But we also need that physical space as well, or that physical contact. Our CTO Pritam Shetty, he wrote a great article. It was about the phygital experience, where what we're in now is we want to use technology to make life easier, but we need that physical engagement. So, think about it. You order room service from your phone, but then you have somebody deliver it, and they deliver it with a nice smile. They deliver it quickly, and it's warm. It's great. And that is a great experience right there with that. You did order room service from your phone, but you also had a physical connection with somebody as well. So I think, technology is a necessity in hospitality, but I also think we can't forget about what makes hospitality, and that's engaging with people and really trying to make someone's day through that personal connection. So to answer your question, necessity, but we can't forget about the people as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, Steve, another thing is because obviously we have advanced tremendously in technology sector in the hospitality industry, but obviously there are still some technological gaps present. What are those gaps in your opinion that we still need to overcome in our
Yeah.
industry?
Man, what a great question. I think if you look at the vacation rental, they do such a phenomenal job with contactless and the guest experience, where you just can check in on your phone, no problems. But like I said, I think they do a great job with that. I think the technology still can do a little better job with their guest experience. But kind of what I'm seeing right now, and I've had multiple conversations about this, is are kind of, I don't want to say done with integrations, but they're ready for a system that is an all-in-one solution that can handle all the functionality of the hotel and still provide a phenomenal guest experience. If you think about when you're going to a restaurant in a hotel, that's the PMS and the POS talking. A lot of those times, those integrations aren't great. And then if something goes wrong, guess what? The POS company is going to tell you it's a PMS's fault, and the PMS is going to say it's a POS. The integrations, yeah, they're okay, but I think what we're really ready for is that solution that is all in one place, and it's easy to use, and it provides that guest experience as well. So I think that's kind of where we're moving. You've seen these larger chains adopt more of these all-in-one solutions to their limited service hotels, but I really think what we're waiting for is this all-in-one solution to come by that can really tackle these larger properties as well.
I mean, that's a great perspective on stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Steve, that was an amazing insight. Thanks for sharing. Let's move to my next question. Have you attended any hospitality events recently, and which event or conference do you prefer to attend the most?
Oh man, great question. Uh I we were at High Tech, and I love High Tech. I think it's a great show. You get to see everybody in the industry, and I think that's such a obviously a great show to be at. I tell you, my favorite show that I've been to this year, and they just had another one, and I wasn't able to make it, was the Independent Lodging Congress. It is an amazing experience. I just had such a great time. It's not so much about selling or promoting what you do or your product. It's all about networking and getting to know people in the industry more on a personal level. While you're getting to know them personally, they know what you do and things like that. But it's not as much as you get to, we meet each other at a show, and it's not, oh, I'm going to pitch you on my product and sell you. It's so personal. It's much more laid back.
Mhm.
And the whole vibe of that show is just phenomenal. So Independent Lodging Congress is probably my favorite. The next one I
Mhm.
have coming up is the International Luxury Hotel Association, Inspire, in Phoenix, and I went to that one last year. And some of the people I met from last year's show were so phenomenal. Just really get to meet kind of more of the higher end folks on the hotel side, but everybody's just so I guess welcoming and so friendly at that show as well. So I would say those three are probably my favorites to go to every year.
So can you please highlight the fun moment in high tech? What exactly you feel it? We also love to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, high tech is just it's a blast. Every night there's so many events going on, and that's where you really get to build those connections and really get to form those friendships and kind of you'll see those people at every high tech. This year at Stayflexi, we had a party bus. What we did was with all the events going on at night, we had this
Mm-hmm.
huge party bus, and you could get on the party bus, have a couple drinks, and hop from event to event. So like with the variety of events and the people that you get to meet, instead of more of just a work setting, you get to go have a few drinks, get to know them a little bit better. It's with the 3-4 days that it is, it's just an awesome experience.
I
Oh,
mean, that's
that's
the main
awesome.
purpose. That's the main purpose of hospitality industry, right? Different people
Yeah,
coming together, exchange of ideas.
absolutely, just a collaboration. I mean, we're all here for the same reason. We're all in hospitality to make people's lives easier and better as well. So just meeting with like-minded people like that, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the importance of the events and exhibition and conferences, that we all get together and exchange our ideas and what exactly is coming in the market about the technology and what is the going on, you know? So, I
Absolutely.
mean, that's an awesome, like, So, basically, just have an advice, like, what would you give your advice to the uh, professionals who want to pursue a career in the hospitality industry?
I would say always be learning. Always be willing to learn and talk to as many people as you can. I think that is one thing that is my favorite thing about having the Modern Hotelier as a podcast, is the wide variety of
Mhm.
people I not only get to talk to, as I'm sure you all do too here, but you get to talk to and learn from so many different people and so many perspectives as well. But I think that's it. It's always be learning. And one piece of advice that I got was, if you learn as much as you can. If you're working in a hotel, work that front desk job. If you get asked to do housekeeping, do that. These are all experiences you're learning at your
Mm.
job that are going to trans over to your next position. And you can always be learning, whether that's in the hospitality or technology side, whatever side you're on in hospitality. We're all pretty friendly people. So reach out via LinkedIn or through these shows, and just talk to as many people as you can, and just always continuing to learn.
That's very well said, and thank you for sharing your advices. I'm sure it really helped a lot of newcomers in this industry. Now, Kazim would like to ask another questions for you.
Sure.
Steve, so my question is a bit on a gloomy side, because obviously COVID-19 affected hospitality industry severely, but obviously like any other experience, hospitality industry has emerged from it. We have bettered ourselves. So how do
Absolutely.
you think the COVID-19 pandemic has affected hospitality, and how has it helped us to better ourselves or in the industry in general?
Yeah, good question. So it's kind of funny. When I was working at the past PMS company, they did a really good job of mobile check-in. And when I would be talking to folks, they would be like, there is no interest in mobile check-in. All the guests want to come to the front desk and have that experience. Then COVID hit, right? And no,
Yeah.
you didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice. You had to do mobile check-in or check-in on a kiosk or something like that. And I think what it really did was it sped up the technology side of things. It was no longer a nice to have a mobile check-in for your hotel. It was a necessity, right? So now mobile check-in is pretty much part of the experience for quite a few hotels, for most hotels. So I think it sped all that up. And I think it also I think it made us realize also how um how we need to treat people in the industry as well, right? We have had massive labor shortages that we're still not recovering from. I think we need to, not only treat all our employees well, but pay them a livable wage that they don't have to, you know, be a housekeeper here and then have another job that they have to go to after this. I think that that's kind of what it showed us, where we need to, I guess, not, I don't want to say hop on board, but keep up with technology and also make sure we're treating our employees right, and we're taking care of them as well. So I think they're kind of those two things we learned from the pandemic.
But don't you think that COVID-19, despite whatever its effect were, it was sort of a blessing in disguise for hospitality? Because if there was no pandemic, we wouldn't have made that leap in technology, especially in the hospitality industry. The kind of things that we take granted for today wouldn't have been possible without pandemic, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we might have gotten there. It might have just taken, 3, 4, 5 years, right? So we're not the quickest to adapt the new technology in our space, and I think everybody in our industry knows that. But absolutely, I think it forced us to adapt to technology a little bit quicker than we would have. So absolutely, I think there are some good things that came out of it, and some really good learning experiences that we can take away.
So, Steve, there's another thing I want to ask you, because obviously, in our current situation, what would be your suggestions to different hotels, increase their revenue and generate more business for them? What measures can they take?
Yeah, great question. Man, I would say embrace technology. And obviously me coming from the technology space, probably you could guess I was going to say that, but I think right now, if you look into the guests that's staying at your hotel, most likely they're not coming to stay with you just to stay at your hotel. Most of the time, they're going to come and stay, and they want an experience based into that hotel. Or into their stay, maybe not into the hotel specifically, but see how you can do that. Build packages around experiences you could offer on site for your guests. If you have a restaurant, maybe have a whiskey tasting or a happy hour or events that your guests can go to. A big thing also is hyper local experience. Uh, you know, See if you can build partnerships with maybe those kayaking rentals down the place if you don't have kayaks, or some place where you can go on a sunset cruise. It's all about experiences for your guests, and if you're able to provide more than just a place where they sleep, if you're able to provide an experience for them, not only are they going to have a more enjoyable time, uh, but you help them do that, it's also going to help bring additional revenue into your property as well. So I would say, look to how you can build out those experiences into guests, either on your property or in the city you're currently living, to build out a hyper local experience as well.
Uh, so before Maria can ask another question, let me put slide right one in, because obviously your company, has developed its own PMS. So
Yeah.
how do you think the PMS has evolved over the years? Because there
Oh
are
man.
so many things that are integrated with PMS at the moment. There are revenue management system, and there are
Yeah.
GDS, and there are mobile key access and everything. How do you think the PMS of today is different than what we had, say, like 5 years before, or even before that?
Night and day, night and day. I mean, if you look at the more legacy PMSs, right? I mean, first they were on premise, and if you wanted to do an update for an on premise PMS, that's going to cost you a good chunk of money to do that. And even getting the like an on premise PMS installed, that's going to take at least a month and thousands of dollars. And even the cloud PMSs, they're able to do things. You can send updates, and just the ease of use is there. But it still would, as far as setting them up, it still took a month, right? And thousands of dollars for you to come on site, do training, do all that stuff. And with Stayflexi, we're totally kind of changing the game. We can onboard your property in a week, and we'll do it for free. So instead of taking months and thousands of dollars, we can do that all in a week, and it's, doesn't cost you anything. So I think that's like, the first huge shift we're moving over to PMS is going to be a much easier process. And then I think, we talked about this a little bit earlier. It used to be you have your PMS, right? Then you got to connect with your CRS. Then you got to connect to, your payment gateway. Then you got to connect to your POS. All these different systems that you have to connect to, right?
Yeah.
Now, what we're doing at Stayflexi is just having that one solution that you don't have to have those integrations. It's just all in one place. That's a system that's easy to use. You have your guest experience, you have your revenue management, and you can all do it on a cloud version of a PMS where you can use your computer. If you're not by your computer, you can use your phone, right? Like, I think that's it. It's just, how easy it is for a PMS to set up. And then, how is it on the cloud, how you can update it and things like that, and what's included. I think integrations, um, while we need them now, I think, 10, 15 years down the line, I think we're going to see less and less integrations and more things built in house.
I mean, you gotta absolutely love the technology and time that we are living in at the moment.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's so exciting. I mean, I was on a podcast last week and we were talking about Airbnb and the hotel space. And the independent hotel space is just so exciting because the technology out there is getting
Yeah.
better and better and better. Like now tipping's a big thing where, you don't have to just leave cash for the housekeepers. You can tip them right from your phone. So it's like, what type of experience can we all build in? And it's so cool, the technology that's out there, and kind of the forward thinking of some folks in the hospitality to really create these awesome guest experiences and make hoteliers' lives easier as well.
It's amazing.
Well, Steve, we just talk about technologies and everything, and now my question is all about we like our audience, and we would love to know about like what are your hobbies and how do you spend your free time with your family and friends?
Yeah. Oh man. So I live in Colorado, just an hour north of Denver right now. So I like to get outside as much as possible. My wife and we have a dog and a cat, and both my dog and a cat like love to be outside. My cat's the biggest camper in our family, so you can find us camping, hiking, a lot of outdoor stuff. A couple weeks ago, I hiked to 14 or Mount Belford with some few friends. So hiking, camping, getting outdoors. That's where you'll find us on the weekend.
Oh, wow,
But do you
that's
like
perfect.
baseball or what?
What was that?
I said, do you like baseball or what?
Oh man, I'm a big football guy. I also am an avid
Oh,
mini golfer. One of my secret talents is I love mini golf. Me and my wife are actually in a mini golf league
Oh,
on Wednesdays. So I'm a big mini golf fan, but you can watch me finding football. I'm from Wisconsin, so big Packer fan. So yeah, any football games you'll see me watching.
amazing, amazing.
yeah, that's perfect. So, in the end, can you name some hospitality professionals that encourage you and help out you to achieve your goals line in your career?
Oh man. Yeah. So there's just, I think the hospitality space, there's a lot to learn when you're getting into the space, especially on the technology side, kind of just how the industry works at a whole, and then the technology that goes into that. And my initial team at Stay in Touch, and this was when we were small, we were still a startup when I was there, not the big company they are now, but that core group, we had our CEO is Yash Shop, still to this day keep in touch with him, and he has always been so supportive. And then the team we had there, one of my mentors till this day is Nisha Singh. She was the old VP of sales over there. Hyatt Adonam, he was one of the sales guys. Still keep in touch with him, and Justin Davis and Ian Robert. We've all kept in touch, and we're all just kind of still there. One big support system, and now I have guys like David Millilly and our CEO Venkat Sakamuri, who are always there and supportive, and we're all trying to make a footprint on this industry. So I have been so lucky with the people in this industry, and I think that's the best part about hospitality is the people that are in it. Everybody's so nice. They're just fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Steve. Well, that's it for today, guys. This is where we end our conversation with Steve. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here, and it was a wonderful experience talking to you. Till next time, take care, everybody.
Thanks so much. This was a blast. You guys did a great job.